Joker is directed by Todd Phillips, director of some of my favorite comedies such as Old School and The Hangover, which I was surprised to see, and it tells the origin story of my favorite villain of all time, the Joker. And the Joker is played by one of the best actors working today, Joaquin Phoenix, and this movie is quite possibly my favorite movie of this year. When I say that, it may come as a bit of a shock because of the praise I gave Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I stand by that. These two are fighting for number one. I'm still not 100% sure which one I put ahead, and there are still a bunch of films that come out, like The Irishman, but I love this movie. It is fantastic. It's everything I wanted to see and more from a Joker origin story, and I wasn't going easy on this film. The Dark Knight is my favorite comic book movie of all time, and it's my third favorite film of all time. Heath Ledger's Joker is my favorite villain of all time, and it's my favorite supporting performance of all time. So I was going pretty hard on this one, but Joaquin Phoenix delivers in every single way. He is fantastic. He deserves an Oscar nomination, if not a win, for this role. This year has had some great performances. Taron Egerton in Rocketman, DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and many more, but this one is one of the best. Also, Todd Phillips, that came out of nowhere. This guy, he's a very good director for comedies. The way he directed this film was great, and this film looks amazing. The colors are great. I cannot wait to watch this on 4K. The colors will just pop. I loved this movie more than I thought I would. I knew I was gonna love it. Okay, it's a Joker, and Joaquin Phoenix, one of the best actors working today. I knew I was at least gonna really like it. This just blew me away. My favorite scene takes place on a train in the first half of the movie. There's scenes later on in the train, but it's the first scene on this train. You see a little bit of it in the trailer. I won't show which one it is though. And I was so excited for this film, especially after the buzz it got from TIFF. And I won't talk about the controversy about the guns and all that stuff in the theater. That didn't happen to me tonight, so, and I'm in Canada. Robert De Niro has to be talked about. As Jeremy John said, he could have easily slept on this film, and he didn't. He really gives all that he could give to his character. His character is really cool in this film. He's really funny, and I loved seeing him and Joaquin Phoenix in scenes together. Something that some people didn't like, I didn't find it bothered me, is it takes huge inspiration from especially Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, which I watched last night for the first time. And there are things, if you've seen especially Taxi Driver, there's something that happens a few times in this film that is straight out of Taxi Driver. There's another thing, and there's some of the lines that are very similar to Taxi Driver.
All I have are negative thoughts.
And there's a whole scene, I don't want to say what, I will say in my spoiler video, because I will be making one, I promise, that is, again, straight out of The King of Comedy, but it didn't bother me because it felt like this is what the character of Arthur would have done. This guy is crazy. We see his descent from just clown, like normal party clown, to insane killing Joker. The Joker character in this is great. The makeup, when I first saw it, I was iffy about it, and when you finally see this in the film, it looks great. I thought that the actual Joker, like there's Arthur in it, he's in possibly every scene in the film, maybe not like every shot, but every scene I'm pretty sure he's in, but it looks very good. It's different from Heath Ledger's, but it stands on its own. This is my second favorite Joker after Heath Ledger. It goes a bit ahead of Jack Nicholson's and Mark Hamill's. I've never read any of the comics about the Joker, or even, actually I've read one Batman comic, I don't remember which one it is though. I read that in like 8 years ago, I think it was, and I never read anything about the Joker, so I didn't know his origin story. I knew his name was Arthur. This is a great origin story for a great character, and it is very violent at times. I will warn you, don't take young kids to see this just because, oh yeah, it's the Joker. No, there's some pretty graphic stuff in here, and pretty bloody. It wasn't as graphic as people made it out to be, but it's still pretty bloody. There's a few scenes that are not something a kid should see, definitely. Wait till they're a teenager, I think, to show them this. Unless they can handle violence at an age like that, but it's all your choice as a parent. But this film blew me away. And I expected a lot from it, and it exceeded my expectations. This is my favorite comic book film since Logan, and yes, that means I do like it more than Endgame. In my opinion, Joker is a far better film just for the character study that we go under for Arthur Fleck. We see his downfall into insanity and how he becomes the Joker, because I bet you're wondering as a fan, and if you're someone like me who loves movies like The Dark Knight and just love this character, even like the original Batman or Mark Hamill and any of the animated ones, how did he become who he is now? And this film, I think, did such a good job at it. I don't have any flaws with it. And I was expecting to have like little things that I didn't like maybe, but I didn't have any flaws with it. It is, as I said, this and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are currently battling for number one. My favorite film of the year. I can't wait to watch. This is where films get very good. So I cannot wait. And it's spooky season. Also, must I add, Joaquin Phoenix's laugh is great. It's distinct. His performance here is fantastic. I was not a fan at all of Jared Leto's performance, even though he is a very good actor. And overall, Joker was a fantastic film. I recommend to anyone who's a fan of the Joker character and who can handle quite a bit of violence, and even the callbacks to Taxi Driver, the King of Comedy, a bunch of Scorsese films and just older films. This feels like a film that was released back in the 70s, and that's a good thing. And if you're like, oh, you don't really like Taxi Driver, Taxi Driver, and Taxi Driver. I am a huge fan of that film. I've seen it 3 times now, and the first time I watched it was last summer. I'm going to give Joker an A+. Thank you all for watching my review of Joker. I will do a spoiler video in a few days. I'm not exactly sure when that will come out. I may see the film again, I'm not 100% sure. But I do highly recommend this. This is a great character study, probably the best we've seen all year. I went and saw it with my friend Logan, and he said it's a bit slow at the start, but after my favorite scene in the film, it really picks up, and he loved it. And I feel like if people had that opinion, I understand where you're coming from. I just thought the entire thing was great. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.